Tonight we had Beefy Cheesy Mac. Starting off with my protein, I'm using some 80/20 ground beef and some ground venison. For produce, I have garlic, an onion, and some leftover colorful bell peppers, as well as some frozen green peas. For pasta, I'm using macaroni, and then for cheese, I have regular mild cheddar, white mild cheddar, and some American cheese. I'm also going to use some whole milk and some heavy cream. Then I just went ahead and diced up my onion really finely, and then I set that aside. Then I went ahead and smashed up a whole bunch of garlic, and then I minced this up really fine as well, and then I set that aside. Then I went ahead and cut my cheese up into some big blocks, and then I used this new shredder that my brother had bought, which I kind of liked, but it also was kind of giving me some issues, so I guess I'm just gonna have to troubleshoot it. But here is all of the cheese that I shred up. Then I went ahead and filled up a pot with some water for my pasta, and I put a lid on that and let that start boiling while I put the meat into the pan to start browning. Smashed it down a little bit, seasoned it with garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, paprika, beef bouillon, and some LaSh'ee's. Then I just went ahead and mixed that up really well, let that continue to cook. By this time the pasta was boiling, so I removed the lid and added in some salt, stirred that around. Then I added in my macaroni, and then I stirred it around again and just let that begin to cook. Then I drained off the meat, and then I added in those veggies and start stirring that around. Once those were all sauteed a little bit, I went ahead and mixed my noodles again just to make sure they weren't sticking, and then I added in the heavy cream and milk, mixed that in a little bit, and then I added some more, stirred that again, and then I just started adding in the cheese. I think I added about maybe a pound worth of American cheese. Then I just stirred that in until it was all melted, and then I added in about half of the regular mixture of mild cheddars, and then I stirred that in, and then by this time I went ahead and actually just turned it off and then stirred in the rest of the cheese just so that it could continue to melt but it won't become grainy or anything. Then into my colander I added in the frozen peas, and then I'm going to pour that hot pasta over the top to help thaw them out and kind of drain some of that excess water. Then I added them back into the pot, and then I stirred those around first, and then I started adding in the beefy cheesy mixture, and then I'm just gonna stir that in, making sure I get all the way to the bottom, and then I plate it up, and there you have it. Hope you guys enjoy. If you try it, let me know.